Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session designed for pain reduction. And I was working with a client that had, in the months before, a dislocated elbow. And because of that, it needed to be reset, but that meant that it was in a fixed position for a very long period of time. They were actually going through certain physical therapy, some people call it physiotherapy, and that was very painful for them because the body hadn't been used to moving, and therefore it was kind of resisting it. What you're going to hear in this particular hypnosis session are lots of things linked to something called hypnoanalgesia, which is basically hypnosis for pain reduction, pain relief, or just turning off pain. And there are things that relate to metaphor, certain things that relate to direct suggestions, the amplification of pain relief, and also that pain in most cases is a message. And when you really intend or interpret the message in a way that's empowering, quite often pain goes down, and also the element of personal choice. For example, if someone was randomly captured and then tattooed on their back, they would probably link that with a huge amount of pain. Someone that's dreamt of having a back tattoo and experiencing the same thing, they would still experience sensations, but they wouldn't label it as the same intensity of pain because they're choosing to do that thing. Therefore, personal choice has an element here as well. There's lots of things going on in this session, and I appreciate it's quite related to things like physical therapy linked to the body part, which happened to be the elbow in this client's case. But lots of the suggestions will be very suitable for many different forms of either chronic pain or acute pain, which is happening in the moment for a reason. And, certain things do cause pain, and that could be something like an intense stretch can sometimes cause pain, or, a massage, if you've got lots of kind of knots in your muscles, that can be painful. So all of these things can be painful, and not all of them are chronic, some are acute, but the suggestions within this might be helpful for you. Be aware, though, that it was entirely created for one specific individual client, and therefore their suggestions that were very helpful for them might not map across perfectly for you. So if you do like the idea of a bespoke session, maybe tailored to your specific type of pain, there will be a link in the description where you can book a free consultation call to explore working with me. And actually there's lots of other free things in there, like free downloads and a free course, so check out them while you're in that description. For now, though, I would encourage you to find a quiet, comfortable place where you're not going to be disturbed, to relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. And the moment your eyelids close, feel a sense of release. A sense of release that it's fine to let go of any tension, any worries, any stress. As you breathe in deeper than you did before. And as you exhale, just exhale for longer. Each breath takes you deeper than the last. And I want you to scan your body for any clues of rigidity or tension, stress or worries. And just give yourself permission to let go. I want you to get a sense that as you breathe in, you're breathing in that resourceful feeling of calm. And as you exhale, you are releasing any of those emotions that feel unhelpful in any way. That's it. Feeling deeper and deeper relaxed. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. So allow yourself to really settle into a comfortable position. Just focus on my words and the rhythm of your breathing. Each breath in, calming and centering you. And each breath out, releasing any tension or tightness that you no longer need. And as you begin to sink and drift deeper into stillness, you might notice the gentle rhythm of your breathing, or perhaps the way that gravity is supporting you there in that chair. So right now, just allow your body to relax, as if it's remembering what it feels like to be deeply at ease. And bring your attention to the tiny muscles around your eyes and just allow them to release and relax, as if a gentle wave of comfort is flowing from the top of your head down across your forehead, your eyelids, your cheek and your jaw, releasing and relaxing with each breath. That's it, deeper relax now. And that same wave of comfort is now flowing down your neck and your shoulders, and it reaches your elbow. And I want you to feel that that part of you has already been through so much. And I want you to feel that that part is now feeling supported, calm. Anything that's gone through some kind of trauma or change tends to use rigidity as a way of keeping itself safe. And I want you to allow that part of your body to feel that it is safe, it is supported, meaning that it can start to release some of the tension in tendons, muscle tissues and fibers. Just feel that you're giving permission to that area of your body to stand down, to not be so on guard and vigilant, that that part of your body can feel safe and relaxed and comfortable. And as you set that intention, just notice only what you wish to notice, as the rest just loosens and softens and fades into the background. And you may even begin to imagine that your mind is slowly descending. And I want you to imagine a tall building in Istanbul with a glass elevator in a beautiful modern building in that historic city. And I want you to imagine that you are descending in the glass elevator, seeing the incredible views of the city and perhaps the sea. As I count down from 10 to 1 with each descending number, you will feel that you're drifting deeper and deeper relaxed into that part of your subconscious mind that accepts powerful suggestions of change. 10, just going down now. 9, more and more relaxed. 8, feeling the descent, drifting deeper. 7, that's it. 6, nearly halfway there. 5, halfway down that modern building, just descending into the bottom levels of this modern building. And then 4, your body just letting go. 3, more and more at ease with each level. 2, and 1. And I want you to imagine that the doors open and you are now at the street level in this historic, vibrant city. And I want you to feel happy and relaxed and just notice that your arm, particularly your right elbow, just feels completely normal, because this is now a memory. And your body and your arm knows what it feels like to be healthy and healed and relaxed. And just imagine you're walking around the streets of Istanbul, perhaps climbing upwards. And I want you to imagine seeing a child fall. But the child is full of energy and vibrancy. They're having fun and playing. And as you see them perhaps bang their knee, maybe even cut their knee, it might even be bleeding, I want you to see an unfazed face of that child. They are ambivalent. Their priority is to play and have fun. And any damage to their knee is just a minor distraction. And yet some children would have the same fall, the same graze, and be bursting into tears. As we plant a seed of an idea that pain is subject to how it's interpreted. The context. It's not objective, preordained. You have influence over the pain that you feel. And imagine climbing upwards, perhaps a hill or even a small mountain, views over the city, and I want you to consider this a healing space, a safe place, a place that's entirely your own. And in this healing space, I want you to notice a soft golden light above your head. It's warm, it's peaceful, and filled with restorative energy. And as that light begins to descend, it flows over your head, down your neck, and all the way to your elbow. In fact, continue it down to your wrist and your hands, and you may feel or imagine a sense of warmth, or a gentle tingling, or even just a knowing that something helpful is happening. And I want you to come to the conclusion that this golden light is your body's own healing intelligence, flowing exactly where it's needed, soothing, repairing, and strengthening, but also relaxing and loosening any tightness around that area. And as it continues to flow, it leaves behind a trail of comfort, dissolving tension, reducing inflammation and allowing any unnecessary discomfort to be released. And maybe you can feel that now, that it's as if your nervous system is being reminded that this pain is not danger, that it's okay to relax now, that the healing is already underway. And I want you to bring your focus either to your elbow or perhaps a different part of your body that you may be anticipating intense sensations. And I want you to imagine two things taking place simultaneously. I want you to imagine that body part, perhaps your elbow or something else, is submerged in a bucket of freezing cold water. And you know it's freezing cold because you could imagine ice floating on the surface. Experience the coldness, perhaps a tingling sensation, and just imagine that the coldness is doing what the coldness does, creating a feeling of numbness in whatever that area is. But in your other hand, I want you to imagine there's a remote control. And this remote control has a dial that controls how much sensation you wish to notice in that area. And maybe it's a remote control connected to a screen, or maybe it has a dial. And I want you to think where it has been set to on that scale of 1 to 10. Maybe the intensity of the sensations has been a 9 or a 10. But I want you to imagine dialing it down. Slowly, you notice that any sensation shifts, becomes duller, less intense, like turning the volume down on a speaker. 5, 4, 3, even a 2 now. And maybe you connect it to the numbness, where that part that might experience future sensations. I want you to get a sense that the coldness is dialing down any sensations. And you've experienced this before. Maybe at a dentist where you had that local anesthetic. It felt numb. You knew something was happening, but you couldn't quite feel what was happening. And I want you to imagine that is what's happening in your elbow or any part of your arm that you might be anticipating intense sensations. Feel that you can dial down and numb down those intense sensations. And then I want you to imagine perhaps an upcoming physical therapy session. But instead of being in your body, I want you to imagine seeing yourself as a spectator. You're the spectator seeing yourself undergoing that physical therapy, but you are no longer in your body. It almost feels like an out-of-body experience, and I want you to imagine that you can observe your elbow or any other body part from a distance. Perhaps like watching a video of someone else receiving therapy, or perhaps there's someone else nearby in the room, or even gently floating above the room. I want you to have that sensation of being curious, detached, and calm, noticing without reacting. I want you to see that physical therapist doing what they're doing, but notice something different in you. Your facial expressions are just calmer, more relaxed. There's less tension in your neck and your shoulders. I want that version of you to process everything as not pain, just sensations. Sensations that might be getting less and less intense. And that part of you that's observing is powerful, steady and wise. And it knows how to keep you calm, centered and strong. And even when your body is doing something hard or potentially necessary, perhaps even useful, I want you to see that version of you with a higher level of composure, calm, almost like that version of you is somewhere else. Maybe you're not even looking in the same direction. The opposite of mindfulness is mindlessness. And sometimes it's good to take your mind somewhere else. That you know something has happened, but it almost feels like you're not in your own body. And I want you to get a sense that every time you experience any form of physical therapy, it passes more quickly than expected, as if the hands on a clock spin a little faster during that time. And even when it's over, you look back and think, that went faster than I thought. When something feels uncomfortable or mundane, time tends to slow down. But other times it goes by in the blink of an eye. Because time, like perception, is something you can shape. And each moment you spend healing, you are also strengthening. I want you to think of sometimes things that can take 45 minutes or an hour can feel like 5 minutes. And just set the intention that time will pass quickly, that before long it will all be over, and you can move on. I want you to get a sense that pain is sensations, but it isn't objective, it's subjective. Pain is a message, but it's not a punishment. It's just your body asking for your attention. Sometimes to warn you, but in this case, to let you know that something is changing, adapting, and healing. What if these sensations are progress sensations? I want you to get a sense that any progress sensation is temporary and a sign of progress. And before long, that will pass, but the progress will continue. To feel those sensations are simply evidence of progress. Just like sore muscles after a long walk, your elbow, your arm is waking up to a new possibility. And you may even begin to appreciate these feelings as milestones, as signs that your body is remembering how to reactivate old tendons that have been dormant like Sleeping Beauty for a while. Now they're awakened, they need to get used to movement and stretching and different positions, but somehow stronger each time. But also feel that the worst is behind you. With these kind of things, it's front-loaded. The pain gets less and less because the sensations of progress are building on previous progress. And if there's any frustration or fear, you can imagine placing those emotions in a small box, a strong box with a lock, and you place it on a shelf for later, because right now you're focused on healing. So just imagine any sensations that feel too intense, pick them up and put them somewhere else, far, far away, and you can deal with them later or never. And now visualize the inner mechanics of your elbow. tendons, ligaments, bones and nerves, all working together, like a well-designed machine being gently repaired. And you could even imagine tiny repair workers, healing cells like tiny engineers, rebuilding, reinforcing, restoring flexibility and strength. Or imagine a vine growing through the cracks, new life, new strength, woven through your elbow, making it tougher, more adaptable, and more mobile, more resilient than ever before. I want you to accept the suggestion that you don't need pain medication, but if you choose to take pain medication, it will be amplified in the specific area of your body that you need it most. Just like that numbed area from the frozen water, I want you to imagine the pain medication goes to work in the specific area, to the centimeter, the inch, the millimeter that you need it to be. You are amplifying the pain medication, making them 2 or 3 or 4 times more effective and concentrated in the area that you would need them most. And you might still get some progress sensations, but I want you to feel that just like that remote control, it's dialed all the way down. What was once unbearable now feels manageable. And from now on, every time you begin physical therapy, you'll find yourself calmer, more confident, and more in control. And you'll remember this feeling, this comfort, this distance, this healing energy, and it will return automatically the moment therapy begins. The look of the face of your therapist will give you reassurance. The words explaining what they're doing will help evaluate things positively. Any discomfort or sensations will feel manageable, and you'll more and more notice progress. Even in the smallest ways, you will be focused not on the sensations, but the progress. More mobility, more time holding a particular position. You will be obsessed with the progress, not with the sensations. And maybe you'll feel proud of yourself for showing up, for doing the hard work, doing what's necessary to give that future version of you a gift. And as the days go by, don't be surprised if your sleep improves, your energy returns, your elbow and your arm feels more and more like your own again, like it's returning back to normal. And I wonder if you can imagine now, seeing yourself perhaps a few months from now, after all of this physical therapy and healing. I want you to imagine seeing yourself moving your arm freely, reaching, stretching, lifting, holding something. Maybe doing something like using a pen or typing something, but see yourself doing it with ease and confidence, and see yourself smiling, because you were willing to experience temporary sensations for a greater good. It was worth it. And because your body responded, you may even feel a quiet level of pride, knowing that sensations or discomfort were a price you were willing to pay to have that mobility, strength, and freedom back. Proud that you trained your mind and trusted the process you were following and the experience of someone that's been doing it for years. when your unconscious mind has connected with these suggestions, feeling that any future therapy sessions are going to be more manageable and you can be calmer and more relaxed, knowing that you have given powerful suggestions to your body to reduce the intensity of sensations from intense to mild and subtle. Just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. So imagine now is the time to go back down that hill, that mountain, climb back in that glass elevator, and just feel that glass elevator is returning to the top. And the moment it gets to the top, just imagine you're floating all the way back into your body right now, taking all these wonderful new ideas, powerful suggestions and intentions with you. So take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, start to connect and calibrate into the here and the now as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling confident, resilient, and empowered. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.